the big news this week and the big release this week was the Thunderbolts. Now, I went to the Thunderbolts screening today, literally about 2 or 3 hours ago. I was like, look, I'll go see an IMAX screening, and kind of went in with no expectations, like, at all. Um, we won't ruin it. We won't give spoilers, but this is a very interesting movie, Kev. It's one of the movies that, again, went under the radar, but also didn't. And I think that kind of helped with the excitement because, like, the MCU, a massive bummer. Except for Deadpool, it's all kind of been down. There was that disaster that was Captain America 3 that came out. Doctor Strange is in a bad way. Daredevil didn't set the world on fire, even though it was good in points. But this movie, I think, benefits from that, right? It benefits from the meekness of the MCU so far, right? Because it can kind of be its own thing, and it very much is, and that's how it's set up. So basically, if you've watched all the TV shows and the movies, which, again, I haven't even watched all the TV shows and the movies, but they do set up, they sprinkle around that there's a team being set up. And it has, like, the Taskmaster, it has the girl from Ant-Man and the Wasp. It has I can't remember her name, but she's the one that shapeshifts. It has, obviously, Black Widow 2. It has the Red Guardian and US Agent as well, right? So that's your team. But the movie doesn't start off that way. It's basically all centered around Yelena, who's dealing with her sister being dead, and also just kind of trying to find her way in the universe as such. But it builds out, and it turns out to be a loose end closing up kind of thing, because the main Thunderbolts team isn't a team. No one puts it together. It's actually a natural team that comes together by circumstance, which is interesting because, again, I was expecting it to be assembled by Thunderbolt Ross. They retcon why it's called the Thunderbolts. I won't tell you why. And they kind of clean up the mess of Captain America 3. But I have to say, US Agent is more Captain America, like, physically, and what he can do, than Sam Wilson. Bucky is even more Captain America than Sam Wilson. And they don't do themselves any favors, because when you watch Captain America 3, and it was in my head the whole time, I was like, oh my God, this did that movie no favors. Everything that we were calling out, everything that we were saying about everyone, all the critics, when you see US Agent, who is a super soldier, do the Captain America things, you're like, yeah, that's kind of what you want Captain America to be, all right. And then you see Bucky, and you're like, he makes the most sense. He literally is Captain America, you know? But they play around with that an awful lot. But what's really interesting is, so obviously there's a cleanup operation, they're betrayed, and then they discover Sentry. Now, do you know who Sentry is?
No, because I'm thinking of the X-Men, like the robot, the Sentries.
Sentinels. So
I'm way off then. So no, I do not know Sentries.
So look, you might not, but here's the thing: I actually am quite a big fan of Sentry. There's some good runs with Sentry, but it's kind of hit and miss, and they don't really pick a specific run here. They kind of do their own thing. But basically, Sentry in this movie is a super soldier experiment, where they took, like, a bunch of wayward people who are on drugs or whatever, and then put them through a battery of tests. And if they survived, they survived. If not, whatever, right? And one guy survived, and he turns out to be Sentry, but he's mentally disturbed. Like, he's not okay. So Sentry is like more powerful than Superman. Like, he's completely untouchable. He's invulnerable. You literally cannot beat him, right? So this brings up a very interesting point where you can't have the superheroes fight in a traditional way, because you're not winning. Like, he single-handedly beats all of them without even breaking a sweat. but he's mentally damaged, and he gets betrayed, and then turns into like this void where he's bringing the shadow across New York, and everybody's getting sucked in and stuff. So it actually ends with a mental battle. Now, I've heard some people online deride this, and I think that's very, very silly, because it's actually a really cool way to do it, where the entire large climatic battle, it isn't a light in the sky and they're fighting. It's in his head to save him from his mental illness. Really good. Really, really well done. And then after that, they put together, they're officially the new Avengers. And look, again, I'm giving this super general, not really spoilers, but they're the new Avengers, and we kind of get this interesting post-credit scene. And I will say, look, at this point, if this is spoilers, fast forward it a little bit. But again, I'm not really ruining anything. They go through, and it's like 14 months later, and they're the Avengers. They're off doing Avenger things, you know? And for the first time in years, Kev, it's actually felt like the MCU was like back. It actually feels like they're actually being superheroes again. It's weird. It's so weird. It's the longest. It's the longest post-credit scene ever. It's like 3 minutes. It's like a short movie, and you're like, "Whoa, you guys could have done this the whole time. You just didn't."
Yeah, I mean, like of the kind of the fact that this one was about to fly under the radar, it is a team up movie of a kind of a bunch of C-list like characters from the movies, from movies and like series that, for the most part, I think were also not terribly successful. Everyone knows Bucky, sure. Black Widow didn't do fantastically. Falcon and the Winter Soldier didn't do fantastically. Like this, it's a bunch of people that, for the most part, audiences don't know, and it also falls between the Captain America movie, which, yeah, critically got pretty panned, but also sold quite a lot, and it's falling. And then after this is the Fantastic Four movie, which I'm projecting is going to be the biggest one this year of the three.
So here's the spoiler. Here's the spoiler, right? It ties directly in to the Fantastic Four. This movie sets the table. This is the reset, right? Where they're like, here's the world. The blip stuff is over now. The incursion thing is over now, to an extent. And we see where the Earth is. So what I'd imagine is going to happen with the Fantastic Four is we're going to see what actually sets the cosmic side together to get us Doctor Doom, to get us into, you know, the big Avenger movies. Because we also have this thing where we have the new Avengers, which is what's set up in this movie. That's what they call themselves. And the Avenger team set up by Sam Wilson, who we have no idea who's in that, or we have no idea how that's going to go. So look, as I said, if you're looking for a really like fun movie, fun is an interesting phrase because it does deal with a lot of heavy issues. It's a very well-made movie. The action scenes are actually really good. CGI is fantastic. The cast are stellar. I mean, like, you call them a lot of C-list heroes, but
the characters are C-list heroes. The cast, phenomenal.
Phenomenal. But here's the thing: like, I really like US Agent, so to see him actually be fleshed out and be Captain America. But then again, they all call him out. They're like, you know, they call him names that aren't nice because he kind of is. But like when you see
murder
him,
a guy.
They bring that up.
He did one murder in public.
Oh, they bring that up. They bring it up a lot. You know, they all say that none of them are like heroes. But at the same time, you're like, yeah, Sam, you really should have taken that super serum. you did yourself no favors, because like when you see them fight, the fights are fast and it's really, really well done. And then you go back to watching Captain America 3 and you're just like, it's so slow and lame, you know. And it's just, it feels more, ironically, it feels more real. It feels more grounded because, you know, you're not being pulled out of it going, well, the Hulk hit him and he's just a man. He should be just soup now at this point, you know, instead of, how did he survive that? You know, in this, you're like, okay, I can buy that you can do these things. It's one of the best movies of the series, and I'm not putting that on a high pedestal. It is a really, really, really good MCU edition.
I think as well, like, there was a bit